Welcome to the Storecast Sit Down. We intend on bringing out the human side of the niche real estate business by asking our guests questions they have been asked and, most importantly, not been asked. Here are your hosts, Steve Baldwin and Andrew Jones.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm out in beautiful, chilly West Texas today at my truck parking lot.
Chilly. What's the temperature out there?
It says 15, 16 degrees, 17 degrees according to my rental, and it feels like 7 degrees, which is actually warmer than it was.
That's nuts. And that's in Midland, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the desert and it feels so cold.
Are people freaking out down there? The locals, they just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you say that because, it's oil and gas. So like they are not really freaking out. They're like it's almost like Dune where they're like the spice must flow.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for natural gas and oil. So
Yeah. Just keep pumping it.
well, what's up? What's new with you, man? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. We're just pushing the kids through school, trying to get through the little bits of snow we're getting here. We've had a pretty white winter in Ohio, which is always nice to see. And, for a career update, I recently moved my license over to SVN Commercial on the
Mm-hmm.
National Self-Storage team. So,
Oh, that's awesome, man. Let's go.
yeah, it's fun. I actually, after meeting with Kristen Asman, our recent guest, she convinced me that it would be super beneficial to join the team. And as much as I talk to sellers in the industry and try to work with them directly, I also want to have the ability to list their property if I can't make the numbers work for them. So I think it's going to be a great option for people. I think just being able to look at more deals as our team comes up with deals across the country. I'm able to analyze the deals first, and I let everyone on the team know that I'm buying. So I think it's going to have some really good synergy.
That's awesome. Well, I'm very happy for you. And especially when it comes to like what you just said, like I want to be able, like if I can't make it pencil, then let's go ahead and like, hey, somebody else might have it.
Right. I hate to, just hang up with a buyer or a seller and just say, hey, there's nothing else I can do for you, But listen, if you're at 5 million, maybe we could try to get there, but we'll see what the market responds with.
Well, what else? What other news you got? I know you've been looking at facilities yourself. I know we've been chatting kind of back and forth on that kind of strategy. Have you taken down any new facilities recently?
So I have the facility in Kentucky under contract, and the bank just ordered the appraisal for that. So that one, it's a smaller facility. The seller's super nice. He's going to be working with us. I'm working on a property. I just put another property in contract outside of Columbus and Mansfield, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and that's also a smaller one with some value add potential there. And outside of that, I have the two properties that I'm looking to build on outside of Columbus as well, just smaller, 1 acre lots. So got a lot going on there. We're working on our portfolio. Might have some buyers in our residential portfolio that are
Mm-hmm.
interested in that. So hopefully we'll be able to move some funds around there. So just a little bit going on. I'm not really pushing myself too hard these days, but there's stuff to do for sure.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
how many exactly now? So, I know you have the one, we have the one in Cheshire, and then so this will be the one in Kentucky is going to be your second officially, which is
Yep.
so fun.
Yep.
And then now you're looking at two more, is what you're saying?
Yes. So Mansfield, and then there's one. There's a really small one that you and I just talked about with a really small town
Oh,
population.
yeah.
That we've agreed on a price. So that isn't we don't have any ink yet, but that's a good one too. So it's a couple more. But the other two that I would like to build on were actually single family homes that I initially purchased to renovate and rent those out. So
That's
Come to find
awesome.
out that the zoning is set up properly for storage. So it's kind of like, maybe we should pursue that route since they're both on busy roads and really growing areas. I feel like it would be a good play. So kind of hit the brakes on renovating those single family homes and kind of in the camp of just scraping them, just taking the
Yeah,
bulldozer out and just knocking the house over. So we'll
yeah.
see. I hate to keep putting money into these single family houses if I'm going to scrape it in a year or two, anyways. It just doesn't make sense financially.
No, no, and it's so fun to kind of hear that, and it just sounds like you're really getting more and more into the self storage industry, which obviously I'm giddy about. And I was kind of wondering too, like, I know we kind of chatted a little bit before this podcast, but as far as like your rationale when, like, for Kentucky or any of these other deals, like, how do you kind of see it? I think value add, any tenant insurance, anything like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, I'm kind of racking my brain on this like branding package, and I'm like, all right, high level. I've just been creating outlines like what can we do from an aesthetic standpoint and then on the back end too. And so am I going to brand everything individually? I was told at one point just to kind of go with like Cheshire self storage, like the name of the town self storage, so
Mm-hmm.
I went out and secured some URLs with that. But I'm kind of thinking like as I build up these smaller facilities of coming up with like a bigger brand. So just really playing around with what that brand is, like the name of that. GPT and I go back and forth a lot on some brainstorming ideas. And
Yeah.
then I can visualize the aesthetic that I want, which is kind of nicer, boutique look. But as I'm playing around in like tertiary markets, I don't want to get too modern with it as well. But on the
Yeah.
back end, like you said, like adding those layers of ancillary income, starting with tenant insurance is the biggest thing. Uh, Getting the software up, getting the social media presence up is huge. So, trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out like what that looks like, who can implement that. Those are huge things. And then management too, as we start to grow. I'm really working with now kind of like a smaller team. I've got a couple VAs that I've been really doing a lot of trainings with, and they're running easy storage solutions for me for Cheshire, and it's just such a good small sample size. And we have like calendar tasks on when to follow up with people, and kind of we still have the call center, which I think they're doing a great job, honestly. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Zion Call Center. So,
Awesome.
working with those guys, and I'm sure we'll see them down at SSA. But
Yeah.
they do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then so from there it trickles down to VA, or who can kind of manage any issues via email or phone as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's working out pretty well, as we're just kind of testing things and trying to figure out what that key growth is like. I don't want to overwhelm one of the VAs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but right now it's the expenses are very minimal, and I'm pretty happy with like our production. So, I think we'll just kind of keep going on that track. I'd like to get more rentals out in Cheshire, and it's picking up. It's we're getting about one a week. So hopefully by spring, summer, we're going to really start to fill that place up.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you. Let's
Hey,
go.
thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'm super pumped. All good
Uh,
things. Good things. But how are you? So what's going on in Midland, Texas?
Woo! Well, I'm having fun out here. It's like I said, it's very cold. So taking this podcast in the truck with the nice little heater on. Um,
Nice.
but things are going well. One of the
Good.
big reasons I came out here was I was putting up some new banners from kind of my new back end suite of solution, like a suite of tools, because I know in self storage there's so many, like, all the tools are there. But when I first started this lot, 2 years ago, I really had to jerry rig a lot of different things and
Mm,
just figure out what the best kind of back end solution was, and there wasn't. So recently, I moved my whole lot to Truck Parking Club, and it now manages my entire back end call center, customer management, marketing, and even like some insurance too, which is really cool. So if somebody runs into something, then I'm covered. So I wanted to come down to the lot and kind of take a look, but more importantly, the gates are just giving me all types of hell. So I'm trying to fix these guys up, get them tuned up, and talk to my customers on site. So it's going really, it's going well. I love it down here.
That's great. That's great. Other than being super cold, are the gates freezing up on people, or are you having issues with the climate, or just kind of motor? Or
Yeah, no. So that's a great question. So what's going on is effectively the gates that I installed because I wanted a very secure kind of lot. Um, they're so heavy that effectively the motors are starting to get worn down and just slow down. So I need to go ahead and perhaps buy a new motor. So shout out to anybody listening. If you are a gate vendor, I want to call you. I want to talk to you. I want to get these things. I wouldn't say they're broken, but I'd like to get them more optimized. So
absolutely, I have a guy for you. He's in the Midwest, but he might be able to help. So,
well, I want his number because
okay.
as a guy that just got into this business and didn't know a lot about it, aside from self storage, I had no idea how much of a pain they could actually be. So
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the career shift and maybe show us around? I'm interested to
yeah.
see kind of what the lot looks like down there, what the truck parking lot looks like. It's cool.
Absolutely. Well, I'll kind of give you the career update, and I got my handy dandy tripod here, so I'll just drive us around a lot. But I moved recently from just storage into truck parking club, and effectively, what I do is I optimize people's properties, and that could be a self storage individual that wants to add extra ancillary income. Hey, I got a couple parking spots out back. What should I do? Well, this is what you should do. And then for truck parking operators like myself, I say, hey, these are the mistakes that I made. And this is how to better, make sure you don't make those mistakes. And also, this is how I can help you generate more revenue or, decrease your NOI. So
That's great. That's amazing. I feel like your perfect worlds, your passive storage and even software, and then coming into truck parking as being an owner of a truck parking facility as well. It's huge. I love that you're getting in with Truck Parking Club. I think those guys are awesome. So congratulations, man. I'm excited for you.
thank you. And there's also, I think in our next podcast, there's some other really, really cool news coming up where I'm partnering with a large organization about truck parking. So, yeah, I guess what I'm saying is if you're listening or watching the podcast, follow your passion because people will think even though you're crazy, they'll listen to you at least.
Good job, man. That's amazing. I'm excited to hear the news.
Yeah, no, well, let's go ahead.
Good teaser.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. Can
That's
you
right.
see everything okay from there?
Yeah, I see a lot of the dashboard. If you can zoom in a little bit there.
How
There
about
we go.
now?
Now I see the shed.
So we're going to go ahead and back right up here. And we're going to take a look and take a little tour of the lot here in Midland, Texas.
That's great.
So what you're seeing, that shed right there, is where I house all my electronics, my tools. You'd see at a typical kind of self-storage facility. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and come right around here. And I'm going to show you all, well, really you all, I'm going to show you, Steve, the exit. So I have this exit here, and I wanted to go ahead and bring up the example of, what did I do? What did I have to do in order to make this lot work? So this is an exit scanner. And in self-storage, the self-storage tech today, you can do monthlies all day long. And if I was going to do monthlies, I would have put a PTI kind of keypad here. However, I wanted to do dailies because that's a big part of the business in truck parking. So this scanner right here is actually airport parking technology that you'd see at an
Really?
airport. Yeah, so this effectively allows me to take in both monthlies and dailies, um, and that's kind of the logic behind that. But as I kind of come out of the exit here, this is West Texas. I'm across the street from something called a man camp, where
Hmm.
people literally fly into Texas and they'll work typically 15 days on, 6 days off. So
Okay.
where do they stay? They stay right there.
Really
Yeah, they're great neighbors too. They
interesting.
And so I'll go ahead and start heading over to the entrance here.
Oh, so you have a separate entrance and exit.
That's right. Yeah, I have a
Okay.
separate entrance and exit. And as I come around here, and
And
I
how
got
many
the gates
acres
open.
is this?
This is 5 acres, right about.
Okay.
So about
Good
five
size.
acres. Yeah, no, it's perfect. And I can house about 150 trucks at this
Wow.
location. And right now our current occupancy is probably between monthlies and dailies, probably around 40, 35,
Oh wow.
40%.
Good.
And we opened in June of 2023.
Wow.
So the one thing I'd like to point out is the big lights up there. I have very, very bright lights. Security is a huge issue in truck parking.
Hmm.
So that's one of the biggest kind of draws to this lot that I have here is at night, it's about as bright as a baseball stadium.
That's great. Did you have to install those, or were they already there?
And no, so we went ahead, we did the improvements and installed them, hired a contractor to do that. And uh, yeah, no, they did great. They did great work
Nice.
there. As well as I'd like to point this out too, this little fence in the middle, if you can see that.
Yeah.
So I have a fence that completely divides my facility in half.
Huh.
And the reason why I did that is so I could go ahead and I could double the amount of parking. So, hey, this is the fence that you need to back up to in order
Keeps
to
them
park at the
organized.
facility. Exactly. And these guys
Is
are
it?
oh, go ahead.
Is that your banner? Was that your banner on the fence?
No, no. So that's a really great point. That's not my banner. That's actually a repair shop for trucks.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, I wanted to go ahead. One of the weirdest things about truck parking I never knew would happen is a big draw is hey, I can work on my truck at the lot. Because at the
Okay.
Loves and the Pilots where they park today, that's not allowed.
Got it. Interesting.
So I work with them. I currently I don't have a revenue share with them. I just wanted to go ahead and offer that service and advertise that service to
That's
my
great.
customers.
That's great.
No, we're back.
Yeah, that's smart. So they do they pay you for the banner for like just basically having a billboard up?
Yeah, well, that I if I were smart, I would have definitely done that, but I didn't, just because I wanted to just test it out and see how it went. But I've apparently driven quite a lot of business to that facility, and I think as I look at other kind of advertising opportunities, I mean, just go to your truck stop and see all the billboard, like all the stuff you see in like a gas station.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of opportunity there, which just quite frankly, I haven't had the time to pursue. But,
Right.
on 5 acres of land, you got a lot of area to put up signage as well. And you have a lot of dedicated customers.
You would think it would do really well with like a pizza delivery or any kind of like food delivery. Someone's camping out. That's not, they could come, meet them at the gate or anything like that. I think that would do
Y-
really well.
Yeah, no, and I've like Uber Eats has been dropped off at this facility. There's a pizza place right around the corner. Um, and guys will literally get out of their truck and walk over there and go
Huh.
eat at the pizza place. So Yeah, no, as far as the other stats, I charge $99 a month, $10 a day, um,
That's great.
and across 5 acres, 150 spaces. If we're at capacity, it could definitely be a very lucrative kind
Yeah.
of endeavor. But also the customers here are very thankful. They have nowhere else to park. So
Right. That's great. That's good to hear. Yeah, you're giving them a good option then down there, huh? I bet the
yeah,
mechanic also gives you guys refers you around too. I bet it's pretty, reciprocal.
yeah, no, he does, and we've gotten business from him. So it's a very kind of symbiotic kind of conversation or relationship rather. But not only that, he's very close to me. He's actually my next door neighbor to the east of my facility,
Oh, perfect.
and I've sometimes had, small mechanical issues here and there, and I said, "Hey, can you go check on that for me?" Sure, and then they just don't charge me. So
Oh,
it's a nice little boon there.
that's a huge bonus. So yeah, go ahead, put your sign up and just do these service calls for me.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. And so I guess in a way I am kind of getting paid back. But no, this, like I said, this lot's been open. I think this is month 20-ish, maybe
Okay.
19. And at one point, we were over 90% occupied with a large fleet, but that fleet has since left. And now it's just kind of back to our daily and monthly customers until we get another
Okay.
fleet in.
Right. And that works. I mean, it'll build back up. But I have to ask you, do you have any other ancillary income streams coming in? Is there a cell phone tower, or do you guys have? And I know it's not the same as storage, but you're not selling boxes. But what about? Is there a fueling partnership that you have there, or anything like that yet?
Yeah, no. So a lot of now that I feel very confident with my back end, and just like the base of the business, the call center,
Hmm.
the customer management, the marketing, I'm now pursuing those opportunities. One of which is an above ground fuel tank.
That's
Um,
great.
that'll have approximately 3,000 gallons of diesel fuel, and another company will just operate it on my site, and then I just take a revenue share from that.
That's amazing. And is it, correct me if I'm wrong, but the semi trucks, don't they have like 200-gallon tanks? Like, aren't they like, I know they're massive.
Oh yeah, no, they're absolutely massive. You can have it's kind of funny, like when you buy a car, it's like you get the three models. Here's your three models, right?
Hmm.
But when you buy a truck, you can go to like Peterbilt or any of these kind of manufacturers, and you can kind of say, "Hey," and they'll ask you, they'll say, "Where are you operating?" Well, I'm going to be operating in the Rocky Mountains. Okay, well, we're going to probably reduce the amount of fuel you have there, beef up your engine, and like there you go. So it's
Right.
really in like where you're at in the Midwest, you could have like really big fuel tanks. So
Hmm.
yeah, to your point, you can have just one 50-gallon drum, or you can have like 150 gallons worth of fuel. So
I think I've seen on at the truck stops, I feel like I've seen up to 200 gallons or something. I remember seeing like a $800 fill up, and I was like, oh, it makes me feel a lot better about my $100 fill up.
yeah, no, and it's crazy. And I mean, just 2 cents, 5 cents off, a gallon really adds up. And it's a huge cost for truck drivers today. But I'll tell you what, you should do this with your kiddos next time you're at a truck stop.
Hmm.
Like if you go ahead and start looking at the trucks, and especially on the underside, you'll see all different types of fuel tanks. And it's like
Awesome.
and it's not as ubiquitous as like your truck or my truck. It's totally different a lot of the time.
Right. Yeah, you can usually just see them right there and outside the driver door.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I mean,
Good stuff.
yeah, and on the other ancillary end, as we were talking about tenant insurance with your facility, I'm
Hmm.
working with Truck Parking Club to start adding that to sites because that just doesn't exist in truck parking.
Interesting. So, and that would be kind of, basically tenant insurance. Like, you can stay here overnight, and what are they insuring? Theft or any
Yeah,
injury or
yeah, we're still working out the particulars, but it's something that I'm very excited about, and to even tell self storage owners like, hey, a lot of the things you guys see in self storage, it might not be in this industry yet, but it's coming, and so it's very excited to
what
be part of those conversations.
I think that definitely has legs. And one thing that I like about that, you start to see it more with like Airbnb reservations is or flights is like, for a couple bucks more, we can give you 100% return like the day before the transaction. So if someone makes a reservation, let's say you're driving across Texas and you think you're going to be to Dallas by a certain time, but you're not positive. Maybe there's some insurance with that too, or it's all right. Well, we'll reimburse you. If it's just a night stay, is it $10 is $10, but just something
Yeah.
where you could group in quite a few ideas like that. I think that would be great.
No, no, and I think that's what the final product of this is. I mean, there's so many different ideas, but I absolutely agree that, hey, when you're driving across country and you want to, here's all the services that are here, just book it all right now, and then you'll have it when you get there.
Right. Yeah, that's great. That's great, man. Well, good.
Yeah,
Thanks for the
it's
tour.
it's yeah, you're welcome. I've walked pretty much every square inch of this entire lot. I call it my second home, and I've even slept here. So
Nice. In the shed.
I've slept in the shed. I've slept in many rental cars or trucks. And yeah, I call it kind of my second home at this point.
That's
So
great. That's great. You should get a little camper and leave it there.
I would, but in a lot of these facilities around me that are doing other stuff, they
Hmm.
absolutely do that a lot of the time. But I mean, I don't know if it's that much of my second home.
Yeah,
Maybe.
you don't absolutely need it.
Yeah, at some point I'll have showers here and a lot of other amenities, so I'll definitely stay here instead of like one night a week, sleeping in a hotel room. But I do have a very, I mean, I have a big empathy for truck drivers having to sleep in their truck because sleeping in your car isn't the most fun thing to do.
Yeah, exactly. So you think kind of a phase two, you're gonna have, do you have porta potties there now, or and you're thinking portable showers even eventually?
Yeah, no,
That's
no, yeah.
great.
So I porta potties, the bare minimum, I think for any kind of truck parking operator is porta potties, trash cans. Because if you don't have that, they're going to end up on the ground at your facility.
Right. Both
Um,
things.
it, both things.
Yeah.
But I mean, showers are definitely kind of the next step here. I'd even like to end up offering free showers.
Hmm.
Um, instead of having somebody pay for them. And as far as kind of other kind of strategies here, I mean, it's the Wild West. There's a lot of ideas that can be implemented that just aren't across the industry because we're just so new.
That's great. That's great. So you mentioned earlier, actually before the podcast, that you are setting up a booth at ISS in April. Are you setting up a booth? You're going to Orlando for SSA as well, right?
Yep, yep. I'll be at SSA. I'll be doing a roundtable there about podcasting. So that'll be wonderful.
You're
And
doing a podcasting roundtable?
yeah, I
How
should
do
have
I not
told
know
you
about
that.
this? I,
Well, I forgot.
should I co-host that with you?
I would love that, honestly. That would be awesome. I totally forgot about that. Gosh, that's my bad.
I for some
Um,
reason I felt like I know you're the ancillary guy, income guy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I think I kind of assumed you're like I'm doing a roundtable, and I just was like, oh, you're doing the ancillary income roundtable.
Well, it was so funny because they had reached out a couple months ago, and I was like, I kind of want to do a different topic, and I feel kind of proficient about like the podcast topic. So I was like, "Hey, what do you guys think?" And like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, "Hey, yeah, you got the round table." I'm like, "Oh
Oh,
no, I
so it's
just
pretty
haven't told
fresh.
you."
Yeah.
Oh, I've been outed.
No, that's okay. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to out you in front of all of our viewers.
No, well, so that'll be SSA. So I don't have a booth there, but at ISS Truck Parking Club, we're going to have a booth there, and then I'll actually be doing an hour-long presentation, all dedicated to ancillary income. One of which is going to be Truck Parking Club. But above ground fuel tanks, cell towers. I mean, you name it. I'll be kind of chatting about it.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, super important. I read your article again yesterday. I actually made a transcript of your article and uploaded it to one of my GPT agents, just to get them a little learned on ancillary income streams. So it was
That's
very good.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to ISS and Ron over there at Informa, the journalist. Really well written article. I felt like our friend Darren Kelly, and the guy I gave the bolo tie to,
Yeah.
he was quoted in that article, so I was just giddy to see that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. And actually, I wanted to ask you. So at SSA, you're taking your whole family, right?
We are, yeah. So we are pulling the kids out of school the week before or the week of SSA. So they have their spring break is the week of SSA, and then, or I'm sorry, is the week after. So we'll be down there early, just kind of setting up camp. Got a nice little condo with a fun play area and pool and everything like that. So just enjoying the weather, and we'll try to drag them down to the conference. I don't know, how much interest they'll have, but we're going to make it a learning trip because they're excused absences. So
Yes,
it's a learning trip, and then the week after, we're going over to Fort Lauderdale to hop on a cruise. So
that's
should be a good
awesome.
time.
I know. I wish I was able to get Aiden and Alyssa out there. We weren't able to make that happen. Alyssa might end up going to ISS though for
Cool.
Las Vegas, so that'll be super fun. But gosh, yeah, those are kind of my only two scheduled things I'm doing. Really prepping the yard here in Midland for some really exciting stuff I've been working on, ancillary revenue and otherwise. I can't reveal yet, but it's coming.
Okay.
Um, and no, I'm really looking forward to seeing you in person here. In ISS. ISS is in like 2 or 3 weeks, isn't it? Or SSA.
No, SSA. Yeah, SSA is coming up real quick. We're like counting down the weekends, trying to get everything together. And so SSA is coming up real quick. And I just filled out my registration for ISS as well. And I'm just trying to get bought my flights and all that stuff. So everything's coming together for ISS too. So super exciting.
Man, well, I'm excited for you. And gosh, you got anything else, Steve?
No, not today. Try to stay warm.
I will definitely try to stay warm. And for everyone else, hopefully you are a lot warmer than me right now. And Steve Baldwin, good to see you.
Andrew Jones, have a good day, sir. Good seeing you as well, as always.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right, we'll see you.